So I have a question for you. Why is it that when we're kids, we're all encouraged to play pretend and go out there and become different people, but when we're adults, we're suddenly all confined to being one thing? Why is that? And what if by breaking that and sort of reconnecting with that side of ourselves, the side that likes to play pretend and the side that likes to have fun, we can reinvent ourselves and completely and utterly change how well we do during job interviews specifically. This is a game changer, and I want to share that with you. For those of you who are fans of Seinfeld out there, there's an amazing episode where George Costanza, who is, I think, the biggest sort of loser in that bunch, he reaches this point where he tells Jerry, everything I've done in my life is wrong. It's a mistake. Every instinct I have is wrong. And I'm at the end of my rope. And they discover, and he more specifically discovers, that by doing the exact opposite of what he wants to do, in other words, becoming Bizarro George, he can completely change his life and get results that he never would have thought possible. In other words, by an act of will, willing yourself to avoid the habitual pattern and doing something that is completely different, he gets a different outcome. And what I'm about to teach you, which is called the as-if technique, heavily used, by the way, in acting schools. That's where I first learned it back in my acting days. But it's also used in behavioral therapy and life coaching extensively. This tool is basically what George did, brought into real life. Yes, it is effective. Yes, it is something that works. Yes, it is something that takes some courage and some balls to implement, but it will completely change how you approach interview performance. So here's step one. All right, when you're using the as-if technique. Step one is inspiration. So I want you to go out there and create a portfolio of pictures, videos, audio clips, books, quotes of people that you admire, people who are heroes, people who you want to specifically emulate. For some people, it's someone big, Elon Musk or Robert Downey Jr. or, some other titan of industry or entertainment. For others, it's quieter. It's a member of the family, or it's someone who has really served as a genuine mentor to them and who they're seeking to model their careers and their lives around. So I want you to get serious about that, and create this file. All right, go out there, just absorb and as much information and visual clues and audio clues about your people that you want to be. And usually, don't focus on 10 or 20 people. I'm talking like 1 or 2 people, and just dive deep, get as much information as you can. Be a detective about who they are and what they're putting out into the world. So you've got this, right? As you're doing this, get a journal, start making some notes, okay? Interesting things that these guys said. Interesting ways in which they addressed a difficult moment in their lives or a difficult situation. Journaling it, thinking about the way that they think, thinking about the actions that they take. Now that you've got that, you've got this inspiration piece, now comes rehearsal. What you want to do when you're implementing the as-if technique, okay, is you want to start rolling it out by first asking yourself relevant questions that unlock your brain. See, the whole thing about this is you can't will belief in your mind. You can't do it. So that's what trips people up, especially when it comes to job interviews, is they think in terms of, okay, Anish, I have to be more confident. I have to be more assertive. I have to show them my worth. Well, you can't will belief in your mind. You can't do it. So your mind is instantly going to hit that block no matter how badly you want it. And it's going to say, no, I don't believe that. There's nothing in your life that has told me that that's the truth, and I'm not going to act, in that way. But if you tell your mind, let me act as if I was a person who was making $5 million a year and had no real need for this job except for how fulfilling it would be in other ways. Let me act as if I'm someone with 25 years of experience in this field, more accomplishments than I can name, and and have more than enough value to bring the situation. When you use that magic word as if, you send a message to your brain that says, oh, when I was a kid, we're going to play pretend. This is a game. And your mind functions very, very well when it is playing games. It functions very, very poorly when it's trying to get belief hoisted upon it. So that's what we're doing here, right? So you've got the inspiration, you've got, the media materials, you've got the people that you're actively saying, I want to be like this guy or this woman. I want to emulate that. That's going to help me sort of, project the right levels, in that interview. So you've got that. Next comes rehearsal, and here are a couple of questions that you want to start sort of asking yourself to get into this mode, okay? Here's one. If a good friend saw you months from now and you were more like this person that you want to be, what would this person see you doing differently? In other words, how has your life changed? How has your daily level of interactions changed? And what would he see? What would be the changes? First come to mind, what would be the changes in you if you were already that person, right? That's question one. Here's another one. What does your ideal person do on a daily day? So sketch it out, right? Typical day, this is what they do. They get up, these are the actions that they take, this is where they live, this is how they do, this is how they work, this is how they go to sleep. Now I want you to compare their life with your life, and first of all, I want to give you an opportunity here to say, what ways can I immediately change my life right now, to more be along that person? That's going to turbocharge things. If you're looking at that and you're saying, okay, well, this guy, he controls his work-life balance, and when he comes home, he's spending at least 45 minutes to an hour doing some meditation, some reflection. Well, why can't you do that right now? You don't need a giant mansion and you don't need millions of dollars in the bank to do that. You could do it right now. I can get up the video with you right now and I can do that. You can carve out that time if it's a priority, if it's in line with the person that you want to be. So that's another question to ask. Here's another one. How does your ideal person deal with crisis? How, when they're faced with an external situation or something that is impinging upon what they want to do and who they want to be, how are they changing themselves and how do they respond to it? Now I want you to compare and contrast how you respond to crisis with how your ideal version of yourself responds to crisis and see what the bleed over is there and what some of the areas of improvement are. So you've got that, right? You're asking yourself these types of questions. You're sparking your mind in terms of thinking, what is the difference between ideal me and me today? Ideal me, me today. That's the difference, right? We're building a picture of who this person is going to be. Now you can bring it into other aspects. What's this person posture and gait? What does this person wear? What phrases does he or she particularly use? That is very, very important, okay? If you can boil down ideal you or this person that's ideal you to a phrase. One I like to think of is Jack Lemmon. Before he would enter the set and do a scene, he would always whisper the phrase, magic hour. And magic hour to him meant that confluence of preparation and inspiration and that extra thing that makes you go. So I want you to find a phrase like that for yourself. For your ideal you, find a phrase, find a way of speaking, find and ask yourself, what clothes would this person wear? Very, very valuable, okay? A lot of times, external things like that and auditory things like that, like a phrase, can trigger something in your mind to say, oh, we're pretending to be that guy. We're pretending to be ideal me right now, So that's what you want to do there. Once you've asked yourself these questions to spark your imagination about, your friend seeing you months from now or what they would do on a daily basis, you want to bring it down into touchstones. These are little things that you can hang your psyche on. A phrase, clothing, posture and gait, things like that you can use. And so now that you have that, right? You're at this stage. Your mind is playing and it's inflamed with it. Now I want you to think about rolling it out. And what I would do is before you get into the high stakes situation of an interview, a lot of times when you're in that kind of anxiety producing situation, a lot of the things that you're learning will start to fall away, and a lot of it is not going to carry through. So you want, as much of what you're working on this, you want to get the ROI for that, right? You want to get the value. So there's not going to be any value until you're actually applying this technique in the interview room and getting the results that you're after. So what I would do, this is what I did way back in the day as an actor, and it's what I do whenever I'm trying to make a real change in myself. I'm trying to habitualize the new me. I'm trying to bring it in, bring it in, bring it in. So what I would do is I would start testing out you know, this new you, right? Maybe you're wearing some of those clothes. You're thinking about the guy's posture and gait. You're thinking about his day. You're thinking about, you know, phrases. You know, you're in that mode. Now use it for little things. Say you're going to order a pizza, right? Just before you pick up that phone, just think, okay, this is the ideal me ordering it. Or you're going out for a run or a jog and you come across a friend or you come across someone else. You're just thinking, I'm in ideal me mode. It's not just me, it's ideal me, all right? So I'm out there and I'm doing it in that way. And it sounds ridiculous, I know, but these little changes start to happen, right? And as you start bringing in ideal you into more and more of these situations, you're saying as if, I'm not that person, I'm acting as if I'm ideal Anish, right? As you're doing that, you're going to start to see something amazing. You are going to start to see people behaving and reacting to you as the ideal version of yourself, not as you with your current limitations. You're going to see it when you pick up the phone and you just call to make an appointment, or you call to discuss something very humdrum, but as your ideal self. You're going to start to see those reactions, and that is fuel. That is fuel because it's going to give you such an incredible charge to say, wow, change is really as instant as that. And that is going to give you the encouragement. So start getting into the habit of that. And now when you're in that interview mode, do all of these things, right? Touch base with your portfolio of research. You know, ask yourself these questions. Use your touchstones to really get in that mode and be that person. And then when you're in there, again, you're just acting as if. You're not forcing your brain to believe it. You're saying, I'm acting as if I am the ideal Anish, the ideal person that I want to be. And you will see people start responding to you differently because that's how this world secretly works, is you become the person that you want to be first. You see the results. Results impel belief in your mind. And that's the weird circle that you want to do. You pretend, you place that thing within the context of a game, and you do all the work as someone who's honestly playing that game, and then you see the results. And then in your mind it goes, aha, okay, so that's who I am. You know, I was a shy, extremely shy person. When I first went out into the working world, it would take me 45 minutes just to psych up for a call, and I would constantly berate myself over seemingly inconsequential interactions that I have. Now I'll blast out 20, 30 calls a day. I'll make presentations like this. I'll go out and I'll lecture in front of thousands of people. I will do all of those things without batting an eyelash. Why? Because I'm great? No, because I pretended like I was a person who could handle those things. I pretended like I was someone who was masterful on the phone. I pretended like I was someone who was masterful at delivering lectures. And your mind gets the message. Through practice, the illusion becomes reality. And that's what you want to do. So just to really quickly reiterate, okay? 3 steps: inspiration, build your portfolio of people, heroes you admire, the person you want to be. Number 2, rehearsal. Ask yourself questions. How would people see yourself differently? How does this person address crisis? How does this person read? What books do they have on their bookshelf? What quotes do they use? Create touchstones for what you want to do and where you want to go. And then finally, bring it into real life. Rehearse, rehearse, rehearse. Get that action in place. Thank you guys so much for learning with me. This is a powerful tip. I hope it has been helpful to you. Let me know if you're connected with me on LinkedIn, and if you're not, by all means, connect with me. Let me know how this is working out for you. Let me know what's fun and not so fun about it, you know, because I want to know, and I really want to see you get some value out of this. And by all means, check me out on a site called upgradeyourjob.com, where you can join my private mailing list and get instant access to my 6-point checklist for landing a 6-figure job. Thank you guys so much. I'll talk to you soon.